Okay, so we're just going to get right into this pick a card. We're not going to have any precursor to this. I'm going to get right to the point. What I did was I went ahead and I separated the cards already into 3 piles. I shuffled them and separated them. And I'm going to pull like each pile. There's going to be 3 piles you can choose from. But what I'm going to do differently is the first card, I'm actually going to show it to you. And that's going to kind of let people know what that pile is going to be about and what that kind of reading is going to be about for you. So again, this is for the full moon phase. We're still in the full moon phase, so it's a good time to do a reading. And this is basically just kind of a basic pick a card on what to concentrate on. So there's going to be 3 piles again. The first pile, the card is reverse opportunity, the gray opportunity. And what that tells me is that something's coming up for these people. They would have already kind of known about this. So these are for people who should have an opportunity coming up for them and they want to know if they should take the opportunity or not. That's what this pile is going to be for. And this wouldn't be something you're perceiving. This would be something that's actually happened, something that's come up for you. Okay? All right. This is the second pile. Oh, we got another reverse teacups. So reverse teacups are about not getting caught up in other people's drama. So this one I think is more to do with relationships, interpersonal relationships. Also, it's a situation where somebody feels like things are out of control and they want to take control. If this was pink, it would be in favor of you. Again, remember the cards are color coordinated. Anything that is pink is going to be about you. Anything that is blue is mostly going to be about somebody else. And then, of course, the gray cards, those are the reverses. So this one here is a reverse teacup. So it's saying it's not a good idea to try to assert yourself. It's not a good idea to try to take charge right now. So for these are for people who have some pretty chaotic things going on that want to figure out how to take charge of them and to kind of deal with the chaos. Basically how to swim in the chaos. How do I swim in this chaotic sea? How do I swim in this chaotic ocean that's around me, basically? So, apologize for you guys. It's just a little bit hot here, actually. I wonder what it's like where you're at. It's getting kind of hot here, so I guess that could be a good thing. I have the window open, so if you hear birds chirping, which is interesting that we have birds chirping this late at night, Luna should be out soon. And so if you hear birds chirping in the background, that's what you're hearing. It's very interesting that we have birds chirping at night here. I always thought that was interesting. So this is for the final card pile. And these people all are, oh, Beltane. There you go, your Beltane people. These are for people that are ready to celebrate, ready to move forward. And these are for people that don't have one of the other two. This is like the miscellaneous pile, I feel. I feel like if you don't have a situation where you're being offered an opportunity and you want to know if you should take it, or you don't have a situation where you feel like your life is out of control, mainly because of other people around you and you want to know how to deal with that, then this Beltane pile is probably the pile that's supposed to be for you. Okay? This is also a season card, so it's happening now. And this is celebration. So this is kind of miscellaneous. So if you don't feel like one of those other two are yours, then it would be the final third pile. So there's first, second, and third. So choose your pile, take your time. If you want to pause the tape to give yourself some time to think about it, that's fine. If you're kind of torn between 2 piles, you know, a lot of people ask me about that. You could go with both of them, but if you're going to do that, you really want to, you can say, I want to know about this and this, but you can't do all 3. I would say it's okay to do 2 of the piles if you really have those 2 things going on, but don't do all 3 piles because they're not all 3 meant for you. And it is really better if you just focus on one pile, to be honest. It's, you know, because you can always get something else for the other question. For instance, that's why I do so many of these pick-a cards, and that's why I do so many of the animated card readings. Now, another reason I'm doing the animated card readings is because I'm not always able to do these videos because of, you know, once in a while I'm just not up to it. I'm not feeling my health isn't up to it or what have you. And so sometimes I'll do the animations to at least give you guys something. Plus, I love doing animations. I love doing art and animations, and I just think it's kind of a fun way to put the 2 things together. So if anybody who feels like those might be a little impersonal, just know that when I'm doing those animations, I'm putting a lot into it. I mean, it takes me an entire day to make one animation, and we're talking about less than a 5-minute animation. So I'm putting my heart and soul into it all day. I've got the cards with me. I'm picking the cards as I do the animation. So it's basically just like this, me giving you a reading right now with these cards, except it's an animated character, which is kind of a version of me, but not really. And it's just kind of a fun thing for me to do for you guys when I'm not able to always do these pick-a-cards for you. Because again, sometimes I have, I do have, as some of you know, I have ongoing health issues and I'm just not up to doing these. I'm also not always up to doing other things. So I always try to put something out there for you guys, especially around full moon. That's a very important one. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that before I end the session tonight, a little bit about full moon, what I'm going to be doing tonight, kind of giving you guys some ideas. Hopefully most of you checked out, and I will link it below, but most of you have probably checked out my full moon video talking about how this is the final full moon, super moon of the 2020 of the year, and how it's special. And also it gives you kind of some tidbits on how to make moon water, how to use moon water. It also kind of talks a little bit about the psychological effects of rituals, which is kind of interesting, something I'd like to do more videos on. So anyways, if you guys want to check out that video about the full moon, and then you can incorporate this reading as well. We are still in the full moon phase. It's the day before, the day of, and the day after, remember. So me, when I do ritual work for the full moon, I always do 3 days. So this is for the first people. Those people that have an opportunity to come up, they're not sure if they should take it. It's a reverse key. Maybe the key doesn't fit in the door. Maybe even though you got the key, you're like, I don't know if I should open this door. I'm not sure about this. Let's see what the cards say about that. So this is your advice card for those people. And you have, the friend, the yellow heart in the dove of the bird of peace's mouth, but also yellow it correlates back to yellow carnation, which is friendship. Okay, so this is all about friendship, new friendship coming in. So this is interesting. It's getting very specific now. It's saying the opportunity is a new friendship or a new person coming into your life of some kind. This is probably not romantic because it's not a red or pink heart. This is more of a friendship or some kind of other type of relationship. It's not a family relationship because those people would already be in your life. But so a person's kind of coming around, and the question is, should I take that opportunity? It could be the beginnings of something that could be romantic, because this card correlates sometimes to the Two of Cups, which is the idea of the beginning of something starting that could possibly turn into something. But for now, it's more of a friendship energy. Okay? And your final card for that, which would be your clarifier card. So your advice card is, I think it was more of a detail card, to be honest, or a clarifier card. It's kind of basically just giving us more details about what it's about. Now this is more like, I think, the outcome card, because you're only going to get 3 cards per pile, you guys. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay, the cards just had to basically contradict me. They like doing that. They're being funny, because now you have the yellow heart, and now you have the pink heart, and some of you know that is a reunion. That is somebody romantically coming back into your life. So this is saying either a friend who became a romantic partner is coming around and you're trying to figure out what to do about that, okay? Or somebody who you almost had an opportunity with, but it didn't quite manifest. So this does become romantic down the road, or it has become romantic. I would say it's more than likely that it's somebody that might have sort of started to get romantic, or it has been romantic, because it's the reunion, it's the pink hearts, and that's what I said about this one. And sometimes the cards will do that. They'll be like, well, actually, it's not just a friend, but it's also a romantic thing. And I think the reason both these cards came up is to really reiterate and really drive it home, basically, that this started as a good friendship before it was romantic. So it would have been for more than probably a year. Or it's somebody who's a friend who you always wondered if you should start a union with. Now again, the cards are challenging me. Doesn't surprise me. It always happens on the full moon. So now I am going to have to draw another card for a clarifier on that. All right, so let's do another clarifier. Okay. Oh, itch there. Should these people, what is the energy coming at them from this person? And I guess a clarifier is just going to kind of tell us. Oh, not repeating past patterns. The pink mouse, which is good. It's the pink mouse in the Labyrinth of the Maze, which is not repeating past patterns. It's a positive pattern card, not the reverse. So this almost makes me feel like, to be honest, for those people, it makes me feel like it's somebody who you almost had a chance with, and you didn't take it, and now you're asking if you should, and the universe is like giving you the go-ahead. Very interesting. So this could be a situation. It could be a friendship. Again, these cards love is love, right? It could be a friend who's coming back into your life, and this could just be a reunion card. This could not, it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but this is the reunion card. So it's somebody who's already been in your life, okay? It could be somebody who was romantic or can be romantic, but it definitely comes with more of a friend energy. So that's very interesting. Keep that in mind. And it's about not repeating past mistakes. So it's almost like these people are giving a chance to somebody who they've had probably some kind of a, I wouldn't say a falling out, but some kind of a time apart from, to reconnect. And the answer to this is, it looks like you've taken enough time, basically, in your own self, this self isolation, self enlightenment time for yourself, to see where the pattern was that you needed to change, and you're not going to repeat those bad patterns. So it's a good time to reconnect with this person. Or if this person is reaching out to you, it's a really good time for you to reconnect with them. Okay? Okay, so that's interesting. So for those people, again, yes, you should take the chance to give this person another chance. The patterns have been changed. Either you or the person or both of you has had enough time apart to understand where things kind of went awry. And so now you have this rekindled friendship, which could just be a friendship. But for those of you, if this is somebody who was a romantic interest or could have been a possible romantic interest where it kind of went cold, that makes sense as well. But this would definitely be somebody who just recently, in the last month, this wouldn't have been in the far past future. This would have been just recently has contacted you. And because it's a reunion card, it's them trying to reunite with you, not the other way around, which means this is somebody that would have reached out to you. So that's for those people. Very interesting cards. So let's move on to the second pile. These are the people, again, that have the chaotic life. You know, they have chaos around them, mostly because of other people's energies and other people's actions. And what should they do about that? Because they can't, you know, it might kind of, cards might be kind of funny again. And doesn't surprise me. You know, it is spring. We're in Beltane now, and Loki's energy is definitely around a lot. And I work with Loki a lot, so he likes to be tricky with these things in the springtime. So I can respect that. So don't be surprised if it comes over the pink teacup to kind of contradict itself and then make me work for the answer. Which I don't mind, actually. That's kind of like what reading is. It's like digging up excavating something or putting a puzzle together and trying to figure out all the pieces and where they fit. And sometimes, you know, it takes time for that, or it takes time to look at the symbolisms or the correlations of the cards. That's why I color coordinate them as well, because that way you can see the correlations of the cards and kind of where they fit in. So again, these people are having kind of an uncontrolled situation, probably because of another person or other people's energy. And this card would kind of basically say, don't go to the extreme with it. Don't go to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party with it. Don't engage yourself in the craziness. Don't engage yourself in the drama. Try to find a way around that. And I think these cards are going to be, you know, it's interesting. Sometimes when I do a reading, I do get energy that comes back from the other reading. I do want to say this very quickly for these people. I did feel like, just for a second there, I did kind of get an impression that if this is a relationship that people are in, what it's saying is that somebody who, for those people, what it is it's a partnership that they're in, and you're asking if you should continue in this partnership, and it's card saying yes. It looks like people have learned to fix those patterns. So it can apply for either or, I think, but I think it really is about fixing patterns in relationships and people giving each other second chances. That's the key of it. Interesting, because it was Arian Rod's key, but it was reversed. Okay, so again, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, don't engage yourself in it. And what are your cards? Well, you got the blue rings, so the blue ignored bride. So the blue rings, because they're not with the wedding cake, it's about somebody else feeling ignored. So somebody else is, you know, making a lot of noise. They're like, you're ignoring me. Why are you ignoring me? I want your attention. You know, almost like a little kid in a store or something. And that kind of a thing. And so basically, you know, it's somebody who's trying to get your attention. And so they're probably creating a lot of chaos around you. They may even be in some kind of a crisis. And sometimes when people want our attention, they will create crisis to get our attention, you know, and they'll call us up and be like, oh my gosh, this just happened. I really need your help. A lot of times without even realizing that on a subconscious level, they created that situation just so they could reach out to you. Okay. this is somebody who comes with a lot of crisis. They're almost always in crisis. They always need your help. And it's also somebody that wants to engage you in some pretty, what I call crazy making dealings, which is when it's kind of like you do go to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. You know, it's like they talk to you on the phone and they're like something like, oh, you know, I went to the store and then the person at the store was mad at me, and so they told me I was going to have to leave, and I had to leave because I wasn't doing the right thing at the store. I wasn't, you know, going by the protocol or whatever. And then when I was going on the way home on the bus driver was mad at me. And then when I got home, you know, and it's just like this constant, like, it's like you have to step into a different reality. You know, it'd be almost like if you took a walk with somebody and you guys went to get an ice cream cone, right? And the whole walk was beautiful, and you saw the sun was out and soul was out and everything was beautiful. And you experienced this amazing, you know, somebody waving at you, the ice cream person giving you an extra scoop or whatever. And the other person is like their version of the beautiful walk that you had was that, you know, why did that person kind of look at us funny as we were walking? The person who waved and said good morning or afternoon, and then their version of the ice cream shop is probably, well, that guy gave us an extra scoop because he messed up the ice cream cone. And then when they get home, they just have a different version. And in order for you to understand where they're coming from, you almost have to jump into Wonderland with them, and you have to figure out what their version, their story is, basically what's going on with them. It doesn't mean they're wrong, and it doesn't mean you're right, because people can take this walk and have different perceptions of what happened. But you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to jump into that crazy, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, basically? If that's not the way you see it, don't make yourself see it that way. Don't be like, oh, I must be wrong. They must have seen it the right way. Because in these types of situations, the reason there's miscommunication, the reason this person's always trying to get your attention is because they haven't been able to, because they just don't understand. They're like, why doesn't this person see when we go outside that the world is a dark place? You know, that type of thing. So, and interesting enough, I feel like there should be two on this one too. The blue bird in cage, but it's free. It's free to fly away in this context. There's not bars around it. So this person is coming at you. Now this gives us more detail. This person's coming at you with a crisis where they feel like they're locked or they're trapped in a situation. Could be a relationship. They could be talking about another person. But the truth is they're not as trapped as they think they are. And so they really don't need your help. And so just remember, the reason this person is reaching out and feeling like you're not listening is because they just want your attention. So just make it about that. Just be like, oh, well, it sounds like, you know, you can handle this by yourself. It's not, you know, it doesn't sound too serious, but hey, if you need to talk, I'm here. You know, I can't imagine I have a lot of advice to give you, but I could definitely, you know, be a shoulder to lean on. And then you kind of make it about them reaching out to you instead of them asking for your help. What is the final card on that one? Ah, the reverse harvest. So this is about anything that you plant happens a year and a day from now. So what that makes me feel like, I get it now. The reason you feel obligated to this person and to help them when you do is because about a year ago, they probably helped you in some way, or in the near past, probably more than likely a year and a day ago. So about spring last year. So this person in the past has been very helpful, and now you feel like you want to be helpful. But because of them putting themselves in situations that they put themselves around people who are very toxic for them, there's really not much you can do. They have to decide themselves that they want to get away from these people. So the idea, again, is just, if you appreciate the help that they've given you in the past, then just cherish the friendship. Just remember there's a friendship there, and you just want to cherish the friendship. And you don't have to worry about the rest of it, you know. It's just details, basically. You know, it's things they're just going to have to work out. You don't have to solve every little problem for them just because they helped you with a major situation, or you feel like they helped you with a major situation in the past. You don't necessarily have to go with that. It's reverse harvest. It's saying anything you put into the energy now is going to manifest a year and a day. And that tells me two things. One, it's a reversed harvest. So it's saying, again, they may have helped you in the past, but it's not right now. Now, what's interesting is when I get a card like this, and I kind of get impressions, I wouldn't say it's going against the card's idea, because this would be, you know, planting, not harvesting. But I feel like it's kind of a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I feel like It's definitely like planting and harvesting. So the reason this card comes up though, for some reason it's weird because it wants to be orange, but it isn't. It keeps wanting to be orange. It's like I almost saw it as orange when I first saw it as well, but it was reversed. So, that almost makes me think of like a Jira situation. Like a year and a day, like a cycle of things. Like this always seems to happen around the same time. That makes a lot more sense because the person is having the same secular relationship with somebody and they're asking you for advice and they're having the same issues come up and the same problems kind of recycle back around a year and a day. That's happened this time last year. This happened last year, that kind of thing. And so just to kind of remember that there's really not much you can do. And again, it really just comes down to that you don't really owe this person anything. You just need to help them with their energy and be their friend. You can't solve all their problems. And really, they're just trying to get your attention. They're just trying to reach out. That one's a little more complicated. I'll be honest with you there. For a second there, I was complicating those two cards, but it wanted to be both those cards when that happens. For those of you who have seen my videos when I talk about the cards and I'm teaching the different cards, I always say that the cards, the reverse cards, they always want to be they want to reverse, and become the upright version of themselves. And this card really wanted to do that. This card really almost wanted to say, this is just a continual cycle. This is what it's giving me. It's just like this continuous cycle with this person, almost like if you have a friend who's in a really kind of not healthy relationship and you're always seeing the same pattern where they get back together with them and they're like, oh, I'm so happy. And then a couple months later, 3 months later, like, oh, I'm not happy, and it's just this pattern. And, they want your permission to do something. It's also that they're afraid of making their own decision because they don't want to be wrong and then feel bad for it, as in like giving up on this other person or whatnot. So because in the past they've helped you deal with issues with your relationships or your life, you feel like you have to help them. The only difference is they don't want to take as much responsibility. So you really don't want to give them a lot of advice on this anyways. You kind of want to just be a friend and listen to them and say, oh, that's interesting. What do you think about that? That's interesting. How does that make you feel? Instead of trying to solve the problem. Because if you try to solve the problem, it's just going to keep coming back around and say, oh, it's your fault because you told me to do this. You don't want to make yourself their counselor. You don't want to make yourself, you just want to be their friend, really. And you definitely don't want to be their guru. You don't want to be the person who's doing it all for them as well. So that's a very interesting pile. Okay, let's move on to the people who are in the Beltane category. I feel like that last reading was kind of convoluted, but I feel like it'll come out in the wash, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people would get it, even if I don't feel like I'm quite grasping it. Yeah, maybe I'll draw a clarifier in that one. But let's go into the second pile, or the third pile, I'm sorry. So these are the people that are just looking for celebration. They want to move on. They don't have a lot of stuff going on in their life. Financial security, the charity card. Now this is charity, and this almost makes me feel like these people have good energy coming to them because they've been very gracious and generous in the last few months with their time and efforts, and that's why this charity card is there. Also, it shows that maybe they will be getting some help as well because that is the blue bird coming to you with a gold coin in its mouth for the gold nugget, not the other way around. So it's somebody helping them because now they've built up that karma, but also it's time to celebrate. So that's interesting. And then you have the zoetrope. So the zoetrope is the idea that you can do a lot of things at once, that you're able to put together the chaos. So this is almost like saying these people just went through a situation where they probably put together a lot of pieces in their life and came to a lot of realizations. And because of that, they're kind of okay. They can navigate the chaos. That's basically what this is. Okay. They can navigate the chaos. They're ready to celebrate. They're ready to have that Beltane energy. And they're ready to get that karma that's coming to them through charity to them, or because they've given charity so much of themselves in the last few months. That's interesting. Then I asked for a clarifier on that, and you got the reverse letter writer. That's not taking action. So that tells me that these people, that they've given enough of their time, that they need to realize that they've given enough of their time, that they can now just enjoy the season and they cannot work as hard trying to help other people, and now they can rely on some help themselves as well because of the reciprocity of the energy that's going back and forth into their lives. So these people have a lot to celebrate. They have some good things coming their way. They're going to get some financial help. I mean, I know we're all getting our stimulus, but these people might have something else coming as well, or just even just help with, plans and projects, things like that. This doesn't always have to be exact money. It can also just be a material thing. So there's really not much to that one. That one's pretty cut and dry, and I don't know really if I could add anything else to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards, only this time I'll go backwards since we just finished with this pile. I would like to do a clarifier card for these people. So these are the people that have given enough of their time that they can have a celebration now, and they can not worry. So let's say it's somebody who has been donating their time to feeding people who don't have a lot of food for, say, the past few months, but they're doing it like Monday through Friday. This is basically saying you can cut back on your hours. You don't have to do it every day. Maybe cut down to 2 days a week instead of 5 days a week, something like that. I don't see that completely pulling out of the reciprocity, the flow of the energy that's coming and going in their life with all this charity that's going on. But I do feel like they can pull back a little bit and enjoy the time now, not have to do as much. Maybe they have some things they need to concentrate on. Let's see what their clarifier card is. This is for the third pile, the Beltane people. The Beltane people sounds like a weird indie horror movie. Oh, okay. Because people are obligated to you. Now this is the bird in the cage. This time, see, there are bars to the cage, so somebody is obligated. So they've given enough of their time and their energy that now they can have what people owe them back. They can have what other people have promised them back because now they need it. Maybe they're going to need a little bit of charity themselves. So don't be afraid to ask it, and also don't be afraid to enjoy your time and to quit giving so much of your time. A lot of people who are used to doing a lot of charity, they get into the flow of charity, which is it's almost like an adrenaline rush. It's like, you're just like, the more you give, the better you feel, but you kind of forget to take care of yourself. And so also sometimes it's just like, you have to step back sometimes from doing something for somebody so somebody else can do it for them. That's something I've learned in life. That's a very good lesson. Sometimes you're not stepping back because you can't do it or because you don't want to do it. Sometimes you want to do it more than anything. But the reason you're stepping back is because it's giving somebody else a chance to step forward. And that's what I feel for those people. I feel like there is a chance for other people to step forward, and now they can stand back and take a break. If you put this in context of, say, the pandemic right now, this could be somebody who's like a nurse at a hospital who's been doing double shifts, right? Wouldn't surprise me if they're doing triple shifts, but double shifts. And they're starting to get really burned out, but they just want to keep helping. Well, this is like saying to them, that's okay. You can step back now. It's all right because somebody else will be there to take care of it. Take care of yourself now and enjoy the spring. You earned it. Very interesting. So the second pile again is the Alice in Wonderland people, the people who have the person who, again, is that harvest card, which really wanted to be orange, not gray. I was kind of going back and forth in my dream image, so to speak. I get visual images and using my dream in mind when I do readings, and I kept seeing it wanted to be orange and kind of was confused at first, but now I realize that's because it's saying it's the harvest. It's going back and forth. It continues. It goes a year and a day, and then this person has more problems, and then they have more problems, and it's just continuing. But the final, and I got some clarity now, the final harvest, which was the reverse harvest, is saying if you create a new pattern with this person, okay, and you create the pattern of that you're going to be the shoulder, not the doer. You're going to be like, I'm a shoulder you can lean on, but I'm not going to do things for you or tell you what to do because I don't want to be responsible for your life. If you create that pattern now, then it will change this pattern that's going on. That's what I'm feeling. And I feel like a year and a day is a very important date. So a year and a day from now would be next spring, next Beltane. So for some reason, it'll make the relationship with this person within that year and a day, it'll kind of even it out and won't be so intense next year. It could be that this, for some reason, is a time of the year this person always calls upon you for something because of something they're used to or something as well, because it feels almost like that spring energy wants to be around. And there's a season card there somewhere. It seems like the timing is important. Why is this person? Why is it always this time of year? Maybe it's a memory thing, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that you have helped this person at a particular time, so now you feel almost like obligated this particular time of year, or I'm sorry, they helped you during a particular time of year. When it comes back around, it always reminds you, and maybe on a subconscious level they get that. So I'm not going to try to complicate that too much, but that's kind of what that reading was. So these people's clarifier card is, oh, another season card. So the Beltane people get summertime. So again, oh, I'm sorry, not the Beltane people. These people get to summertime. So this kind of shows me that these people have some of the same energy as that third pile, but it doesn't happen until the summertime. So you're coming out of the cave in the summertime as opposed to the springtime. So for these people, if you want your summer, okay, to be more productive, then don't be giving away all your energy right now. And you don't have to wait a year and a day, because now it's giving you a season card, and it's saying that by the summertime, if you create this pattern, that this person will get it, and you'll have a more a healthy boundary with this person, basically. And they'll get it by the summer, which is pretty fast. I mean, it's just a few months away. So if you start now to create that pattern with them, it's not going to take them that long to realize, and they're actually not going to have an issue with it. Some people have issues when we create new patterns with them, or we try to change a relationship because we realize the way that things are going is not good. Some people fight against that, but for some reason, I think you're important enough to this person, your energy is important enough to them, and just being in their life that they will appreciate anything that you're willing to give. So they're going to, basically it's going to prove to you that you don't have to give them everything for them to be your friend, which is something it might have been a sentence or a story that you've been telling yourself. Well, the reason why they're such a good friend, or the reason they help me, is because I help them. Or they always come to me because they really need my help, and I should be, because I've created that relationship with them, I should keep it that way. Well, this is giving you an opportunity to break those patterns. This is giving you an opportunity to break those things and to say, no, I'm kind of not okay with that anymore. It's getting a little bothersome and heavy for me. I don't want to go to the Mad Hattie's tea party today, and I'm just not going to create that pattern. So, but I do want to have a healthy friendship with this person, and it looks like it's going to be okay. By the summertime, if you start to break those patterns right now, okay. And finally, for the people who were trying to figure out about the relationship, shouldn't I, reconnect with this person, or accept this person's reconnection, whether it's a friend request or just them reaching out to you. And it turned out that it was breaking old patterns, which is good. And for these people clarifier, maybe it'll give us more of a clarifying on the relationship itself. Let's see. This one feels less heavy. What I mean by that, in the beginning, the cards felt kind of heavy. Now they feel lighter, which makes me feel like just knowing that is a really good thing for a lot of people. They can think, oh, phew, I can relax and just enjoy my decision instead of ruminating about it. So these people are the people who, oh, again, that yellow bird, the yellow heart. So again, the friendship is very important. So this is not, it may be somebody who you wanted to have a romantic relationship with, but I think because the friendship card keeps coming up, it wants to keep pull us back to say, but you didn't move forward with that friendship. Like, it never manifested. I mean, there was a friendship, but you didn't manifest it into a serious romantic relationship. Even if you maybe dated for a few weeks or something, it never became completely solid. So it's almost like wanting a second chance for somebody is what it feels like. Or it's just a friend who you started getting really super close to, and for some reason there was kind of a distance between you, and now they're coming back into your life. Either way, it's a good thing. Either way, you're breaking the old patterns. Enough time has gone by where you're not going to repeat the same patterns with this person. You've learned something, they've learned something. You're both wiser for the wear, and you're coming back into each other's lives at a time when you've kind of learned the lesson. And sometimes it's better to learn the lesson apart than together, because there's not as much feeling and emotion and animosity with it. And then when you come back and around the other person, or when you're back around each other, then you almost have like this clean slate, which is a really good thing, tabula rasa. or tabula rasa. I think it's tabula rasa. It's a clean slate to give to somebody. It's to say, hey, I got over this a year ago. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's a good gift to give to somebody. So this would definitely be something that you would be over. So it's not going to be a situation for people, say, have somebody coming back into their life who they still have issues with. No, this wouldn't be. In fact, it's more of a situation where, say, somebody did something possibly about a year ago, maybe a couple years ago. I don't think it's in the far, far past, but I feel like it could be at least within a year's time ago. They did something that maybe caused a rift in the friendship. And at the time, maybe it seemed like a really big deal. But in hindsight, after a year has passed or 2 years have passed, you're looking back on it now and you're saying, no, I'm not sure I even care about that anymore. And so when they're coming back around or when they're trying to reach out to you again, you're almost not upset anymore. You're like, wait a minute, I'm not upset with this person anymore. I was upset with them a year ago. Maybe I was even upset with them 4 months ago. But for some reason right now, I'm just not upset with them anymore. That's because you've healed. That's because on a subconscious level, you realize that you've healed within yourself what it was that bothered you about the situation. And I think it also, in hindsight, you realized it wasn't that important, to be honest, and probably the same for them. So what I'm going to do now is we're going on about a little over half an hour, and I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off with a collective card for all of us. And I'm going to talk about the full moon briefly because I did put out that video, so I will put that link. I really have to put the link because it should be the video right before this one. It may be 1 video or 2 videos before this one, but it's very close. It's also in my playlist for Moon Magic, or Moon Events and Lunar Magic, I believe is the name of the playlist. And then those are things that are talking about the moon and the full moons and things like that. So if it was a pick a card for the full moon like this, it would be in the pick a card playlist, but that is an actual talking about the full moon and everything, and that would be in one of the moon, that would be in the moon playlist. So for the full moon tonight, so for this afternoon, me and my daughters had sun cakes, and they were, my oldest daughter made them. They were yellow, which is really nice. And then tonight we're going to have moon cakes, which are white, because during the Beltane time of year is the only time of year that I will actually make sun water and mix it with my moon water, because it's more about the sun energy when you come into the spring and the summer, coming away from the fall and the winter. So during that time of year, I usually actually mix sun water as well. And so I incorporate the sun and the moon, Sol and Luna. And so that's what I did that's why we had those different cakes. And then tonight I'm just going to commune a little bit with the moon. I'm going to try to do a little bit of a meditative journey, do some divination, things like that. Keep it kind of light, because for the past 2 days I've been doing a lot of intense meditative health, on health issues and things like that, but also meditating on just positive energy and prosperity and things. So I'm pretty worn out with that. And I think tonight I'm just going to enjoy communing with the moon, eating some moon cakes, drinking some moon water, and having like a little picnic under the moon with my daughters. So anyway, so this is our collective card for all of us. And I want to try to hurry this up because I really don't want to go past 40 minutes on this. I didn't want to go past half an hour, but hopefully those readings were pretty good for you guys. I can't really do a date stamp because I was going back and forth a little bit. I apologize for that. Some people, if they do pick cards, they date stamp the time of the different readings, but I also feel like it's good for people to see the other cards as well, because some of you might have picked 2 piles, and some of you might get something from those cards as well. So here is a collective card for all of us for the final full moon phase. Oh, the half moon. Interesting. Okay, let me work on this. I'm not going to ask for a clarifier. I'm going to take the challenge. So, half moon, not seeing the truth, not seeing the whole picture. So this tells me that if you begin to do some kind of lunar magic, as far as like making moon water to work with your dreams or your divination, because you're asking for a particular question tonight to be answered in the light of the full moon, in your dreams, so to speak. This is saying that your answer will come closer to the new moon. So if you have any major questions, I would say put it out there now, and then shuffle your cards. Pick a deck that you don't want to use for a couple of weeks. And shuffle your cards and then put them on your altar or put them somewhere safe. And then wait until the new moon and then shuffle. And then don't reshuffle your cards. Just cut them like one time, because I'm feeling like the answer is almost right there. And if you shuffle too much, like I'm almost feeling like it's an exercise in control to a certain extent. I'm feeling like a lot of you have questions like, I really need to know this now. So if you're shuffling your cards, you're saying, okay, all right, Luna, what's the answer? What should I do? And you're sitting there shuffling your cards, right? I'm shuffling my cards. Well, now I'm going to put them aside until the new moon, right? So it's going to take some patience. But then when I come back to them, I might cut them one time, but that's it. Nothing more than that. Maybe 3 times. Cut, and that's it. However many times you normally cut your cards. But don't shuffle them again. Because it isn't that the answer is not available right now. It's that you're not ready to see it. Because a lot of times that half moon card, it doesn't mean that the truth is being kept from you. It means that if you haven't got all the pieces yet. So even if you were to see the full picture, you wouldn't understand what you're making or what you're seeing. So just a few more days down the road and you're going to see what you're making. So it's kind of an interesting little exercise in self-control, but I feel like that is definitely an intuitive advice ritual for you guys for the next few days until the new moon. Again, choose a deck that you normally won't use a lot during this time, or choose, like with me, like I might just pull a rune and put it in like a little envelope and put it on my altar and not open it until something like that, because I don't use my runes as much as I used to. So I might just use one of my runes. I use them mostly for ritual work instead of divination work now. All right, so that's that. I think it's a collective card for all of us. Did I even pull a collective card? Wow, starting to get in that dreamy phase. Well, if I didn't, then I guess I'm not supposed to. If I did, that's interesting that I forgot it already. Again, it's getting dark. The full moon is starting to come out. I kind of start to get into that lucid place. So it's definitely time for me to go have some moon cakes and make some moon water and commune with Luna for a little bit. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that thing with the cards that I told you guys to try. I think it's good. I'll shuffle them, ask the question, I'll shuffle them, have the card on top. And I'm not even going to cut the cards when I look at it on the new moon. I'm just going to look at it. And then I'll know why I wasn't supposed to see it. And a lot of you will probably have the same thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this pick a card. I know it went a little long, but I wanted to do like more of a personal one, because I know I've been doing these animated ones, which although they are easier for me, not easier because I usually take a day, so they take longer, but it's just easier for me because I don't have to talk, which sometimes for me, with my health issues, it's just hard for me to get the energy up to really do all that. And so if I can do the animations, I'm kind of putting the energy into that. So it doesn't matter how I feel, because the animation is going to look just fine anyways. It's a way of giving myself to you guys and giving my gift to you guys without having to take away too much from my own health, because sometimes I do need to take a break. And even if it takes me longer to make the animation, it's not as taxing on my physical body. That's what I was trying to say. So I hope you all had an interesting reading, and I hope you all have an amazing full moon, and I hope that it looks like things are starting to get kind of back to normal. I'm not going to talk about the pandemic like I did in one of my previous videos, but I am going to make another video about that in maybe a day or two, talking just particularly about the pandemic and some of the dreams I've had about that, and we'll see if I can get some comments from you guys about some of the dreams you've had and stuff. But for now, I just wanted to keep this at a pick a card. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, enjoy your full moon and divine and dream deeply.